Our job as policymakers is to remember that second grade teacher and that second shift worker and everyone else like all of you who are middle class people busting their tail working hard in this great country of ours. And all too often what I see in Washington is a bunch of people who cater to the connected classes, big corporations who have lobbyists and special interest and influence on the process, and not regular families. And so in a big picture sense, I think that's what's got to be our focus. What can we do to help middle class? There's a host of policy things we can get into, but we don't have time to if I'm going to make the five-minute line. Second issue that's happening that I want to mention just briefly. Next week we have an important issue in front of the Congress because it deals with the separation of powers and what we all learned about the Constitution when we took government and civics class back in high school. Last November, the President, on his own, did something that 22 times before that he said he couldn't do. He signed an executive order giving amnesty to approximately 5 million non-citizens here in the country. And we passed a bill that said we will fund the Department of Homeland Security, but we're not going to allow your tax dollars to be used to carry out the President's unconstitutional action. Again, don't take my word for it as being unconstitutional. All kinds of legal scholars, including liberal legal scholars, have said it's unconstitutional. So we passed a bill that funds the Department of Homeland Security that says what you did, Mr. President, in November, we think is wrong. We're not going to let taxpayer money be used to carry out that unconstitutional action. That bill comes in next Friday. We're going to have a big fight in Washington. I think it's critical that we stand up for the Constitution because if we let the President get away with this, they'll tell him what he's going to do the last 2 years of his presidency.